Thanks for joining us from the Ohio AgNet Voice You Know with the News You Trust studio, sponsored by the Family Forest Carbon Program, where we help family forest owners get paid to improve the health of their woods. Well, Ag Revolution, a Midwest equipment dealership for Fendt and Massey Ferguson brands, is announcing a partnership with VI by VisorPro. VI is an artificial intelligence AI-powered knowledge assistant built for equipment dealerships. VI by VisorPro is a tool helping Ag Revolution technicians perform and operate at a new and higher skill level. VI enables dealerships to compile service and repair information from technicians' publications, details of service calls, work orders, and technicians' own notes. It scans for parts on hand and highlights those that should be offered to the customer to complete the repair. Putting all this information in the hands of a technician, VI effectively helps the technician organize the day's service calls and arrive on the operation with an outline to a clear repair and service issues, while also having the correct parts and supplies on board the service truck. This is something that we're piloting and testing, and it's very fresh to us, said Stacy Anthony, CEO of Ag Revolution. What we've seen so far through our initial pilot stages is that VI is going to reduce friction in our organization and elevate the customer experience. Ag Revolution, known more simply by insiders as AgRev, is a wholly owned subsidiary of AGCO Corp. It is an agriculture equipment dealership with 12 stores in Kentucky, Ohio, southern Indiana, and southern Illinois, and 55 forward-developed service trucks. AgRev tends all brands of equipment, including Fendt, Gleaner, Massey Ferguson, Heston by Massey Ferguson, Precision Planting, Rogator, Terragator, and Sunflower tillage tools. This is a tool that helps some of our folks perform and operate at a level above what their skill set is, Anthony said. It's not above what they're capable of, but definitely above the skill set where they might be today. Today's weather brought to you by Seed Consultants. Simply better performance online at seedconsultants.com. Here's the forecast.
Plenty of clouds and additional moisture across the Buckeye State today. I'm Chief Meteorologist Ryan Martin. Let's take a look at that Ohio Ag weather update. Low pressure starting the day right along the Indiana-Michigan line. That means we're still seeing moisture rotate up the front side of that low as that low moves eastward today, right through the Lake Erie Basin and up into western New York. For tomorrow morning, we're going to see that circulation come around the top side and eventually down the back side. That means on again, off again, light shower action through the day today. Statewide, we can see it, I think, through midday. This afternoon, probably zeroing on more of a northern Ohio kind of setup. I'm not sure we're completely done with spits and sprinkles tomorrow, especially early, but I do think that tomorrow does slowly have clouds trying to give way to some late day sun. But we're also seeing much colder air rotate down on the backside of that low, so chilly temperatures expected for tomorrow evening through the overnight and into the end of the week. I do look for temperatures to moderate for Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Sunday is interesting. We're watching a system come out of the eastern part of the plains, move through the western Corn Belt. Initially, this system had been staying down toward the Ohio River. It's expanding north now, so much so that I'm saying we may have to watch for showers and thunderstorms along and south of I-70 on Sunday, potentially even farther north, so stay tuned for that. But then we're back to dry weather for Monday of next week, the holiday, and we're dry all week long behind that. I'm meteorologist Ryan Martin.
And thanks, Ryan. Time now for the Buckeye Temp Tracker. Let's check in with Joel Panorwood.
It's time for our final Buckeye Temp Tracker this spring, brought to you by B&A Genetics. Real service, real results. More information at bagenetics.com. Quite the change from last week's highs of the year as we take a look at soil temperatures in 4 locations around the state in both corn and bean stubble fields. Across the board, we're seeing about 5 to even 12 degree temperature drops from last week. Let's start in central Ohio, Morrow County. Soil in the corn stubble field, 60 degrees. Bean stubble, 57 degrees. 6 and 11 degree drops, respectively, from last week. In Perry County, the corn stubble field soil is down 6 degrees Fahrenheit to a reading of 62 degrees, and the bean stubble field off 12 degrees to 59 degrees. Fayette County's corn stubble field dropped 5 degrees to 59, and the bean stubble field down 7 degrees to 57 reading. And in western Ohio, Mercer County down 4 degrees for corn to a reading of 61, and its bean stubble field falling 6 degrees to 60. Again, all down from last week, and if this Buckeye Temp Tracker were to wait a couple more days, I'd expect readings to fall even further. See how things have trended throughout the entire season online at ohioagnet.com, thanks to B&A Genetics. I'm Joel Norwood reporting.
Thanks, Joel. Clean Fuels Alliance America thanked 28 House members who sent a letter to President Donald Trump encouraging the administration to adopt a timely, robust, renewable fuel standard rule for the 2026 year and beyond. A strong set, too, will benefit our constituents by lowering prices at the pump, creating and maintaining U.S. biomanufacturing jobs, and driving economic growth, the letter states. A strong RVO will also support market growth for farmers at a time when global markets are experiencing uncertainty. The domestic biofuels industry stands ready to increase availability of affordable fuel options and support the administration's goal of American energy dominance. The letter specifically supports a 2026 biomass-based diesel volume of 5.25 billion gallons and increasing volumes for future years, consistent with unified requests by Clean Fuels, other industry partners, and RFS stakeholders. It further asks the president to reject abuse of small refinery exemptions to protect demand for U.S. crops in the biofuel market, which is essential for farmers. The letter continues, set the biomass-based diesel RVO at 5.25 billion gallons in 2026 and at increasing levels in future years with an equivalent increase in total volumes, reflecting the rapid growth of renewable diesel and soybean processing capacity. RFS stakeholders are unified in asking the EPA to set the 2026 RFS biomass-based diesel volume at 5.25 billion gallons with appropriate growth for 27 and beyond. The volume will support American agriculture and benefit U.S. consumers with lower fuel prices, more jobs, and increased economic growth. And over the next several weeks, USDA's National Ag Statistics Service will conduct the June Agricultural Survey. Now, the agency will contact nearly 92,000 producers across the nation to determine crop acreage and stock levels as of June 1, 2025. The June Agriculture Survey is one of the most important and well-known surveys NASS conducts, said Joseph Parsons, USDA's NASS administrator. When producers respond to the survey, they provide essential information that helps determine the expected acreage and supply of major commodities in the United States for the 25 crop year. The results are used by farmers and ranchers, USDA, exporters, researchers, economists, policymakers, and others to inform a wide range of decisions. Producers can respond to the June Agricultural Survey online at agcounts.usda.gov by phone or by mail. They will be asked to provide information on planted and harvested acreage, including acreage for biotech crops and grain stocks. NASS will publish the data in a series of USDA reports. Stay tuned, back with more after this. Think biodiesel is just another fuel? Think again. Biodiesel is Ohio innovation on the move. Clean, green, and built to keep diesel engines running strong. It's an engine booster, a soybean supporter, and an environmental champion all in one. Every gallon reduces emissions, strengthens Ohio farms, and powers your ride. Drive with purpose. Choose biodiesel. Learn how at soyohio.org.
Attention construction pros. Purple Wave Auction brings quality equipment to your fingertips. Join our bi-weekly online auctions featuring dozers, excavators, loaders, and more. We provide detailed listings, photos, and seller contact info. Inspect online or in person. With our no reserve policy, every item sells to the highest bidder. Visit purplewave.com today and see why informed builders choose Purple Wave. Transparent processes, real deals, your next great purchase awaits. purplewave.com.
Oil futures fluctuated Tuesday morning, rising sharply after Iran's supreme leader cast fresh doubts over the progress after 4 rounds of nuclear talks. The price spike was short-lived, with futures rapidly shedding post-comment gains. The U.S. dollar index softened by 0.083 points to 100.205, and Iran's supreme leader Khamenei said Tuesday the ongoing talks are unlikely to lead to a deal between the U.S. and Iran, pointing to past fruitless indirect negotiations. The comments by Iran's head of state, which included calling U.S. demands on uranium enrichment outrageous, dashed some market participants' hopes of a quick return to Iranian barrels to the market and caused a brief spike in oil prices. Given current demand growth developments, robust non-OPEC production growth, and looming output hikes by OPEC+, it is doubtful, however, that the return of even several 100,000 barrels per day of Iranian oil exports would swing the global balance into lasting undersupply. Today's market analysis is brought to you by the Louis Dreyfus Company, excited to be building the newest state-of-the-art soybean crush facility in Upper Sandusky, Ohio. For marketing information on your soybeans to LDC, call 574-566-2113. Here's Ryan Martin.
Grain markets finished the Tuesday session mostly higher. Only place we saw red on the screen was in the oat market. Overall, the rally was extended on several different weather concerns. First of all, talking about global weather, there are high temperatures in parts of China. Soil moisture is a problem in China as they get started on their crop production year. Then you have wheat that is looking at weather situations in the hard red winter wheat belt. We just got done with some significant storms that caused damage, but then we moved back into a very droughty kind of pattern as we move from later this week all the way through next week. We also have a large speculative shorts in the wheat futures market, and so short covering was a key harbinger of the market yesterday. However, corn and soybeans just didn't have any new exciting news to feed the bull. Even though we were a little bit stronger, I think you have to look at corn as getting its strength from the big rally in the wheat market. If wheat sets back, we probably don't see corn continue this rally. And beans, in some cases, I think were drug up by the corn. As we take a look at the crop progress report that came out on Monday, nothing really too super surprising here. We are slightly ahead of the 5-year average when it comes to corn and soybean sowing, but there are concerns now starting to mount on the final 15 to 20% of U.S. corn and 25 to 30% of bean crops that need to be planted yet. We're looking at this major weather system that's coming out of the Central Plains and moving across the Eastern Corn Belt. Some are saying it may knock planting of this last little batch that needs done, especially in the I-states, another week to 10 days or so. I'm not sure it's going to be that far, but we are going to be seeing some planting delays over the next few days. Temperatures are the other part of the equation in the Corn Belt, at least, as we see a significant round of Canadian cool air coming southward behind this weather system to finish this week, Thursday, Friday, and on into the start of the holiday weekend. Nobody thinks we should be excessively bullish in the corn and soybean markets right now, even with weather problems around the world. There is looking to be some more crop coming to market out of South America. That market's starting to get a little bit more active as we finish up harvest in that part of the world. I'm Ryan Martin.
And thanks, Ryan. We'll take a look at the overnight markets after this.
If your summer road trip leads you to Ohio's farm country, be sure to share the road with Ohio's farmers. Farm machinery moves slowly, makes wide turns, and needs extra space to avoid obstacles like mailboxes and guardrails. Let's all be mindful and make sure everyone gets home safe and sound this year. This message brought to you by the Ohio AgNet, OSU Extension Ag Safety and Health Team, and this station.
Today's market's brought to you by Seed Consultants. Simply better performance online at seedconsultants.com. Overnight at the open, July corn up 1 at 455.5. December up 1 3/4 at 450.25 cents. July beans up 3 1/4 at 1056.25 cents. November up 3 1/4 at 1044.25 cents. The July wheat, after a good rally yesterday, up 2 1/4 at 5.48 1/4 cent. September up 2 at 5.61 3/4. In livestock, June cattle closed up 20 cents at 213.17. August, though, was down 7 at 207.85. October up 22 at 205.30. The June lean hogs were up 77 at $100.02. Then we ran out of fuel. July down 2 cents at $103.55, and August down a dime at $103 even. Feeder cattle were split, with August up 2 at $297.50. September down 12 at $296.20. Thanks for joining us. I'm Dale Minyo. This is the Ohio AgNet.